Yo guys, welcome to a trade recap. I'll be going over trades I took during Asia on July 15th. Um, I'm recording this a day later, so this is what happened yesterday for me. And so let me start off by going to the higher time frames. Alright, so there was this 4 hour right here that got respected, and as you can see, it pumped like crazy. And so basically, what I wanted to see was um there was this huge move down right before market closed, right when New York closed, and it created these bearish fair value gaps, right? The 15 minute, the 5 minute. So right after it swept these lows and kept respecting this 4 hour, my bias was pretty bullish. So I waited for a nice setup, and right here on the 5 minute, it did create um this fair value gap right here. Boom. And then what I was waiting for was for it to inverse. So as you can see, price completely disrespected it, closed above. Right, so there was an inverse here on the 1 minute, and there was also an inverse on the 5 minute, and it tapped back into it and it respected it nicely. And so I entered 5 micros here. I was like, alright, this is a pretty good move. I entered another two. The reason why I entered another two was because I realized that my TP wouldn't have made my goal, which um my profit goal was pretty sure like 400. That's how much I needed to pass the eval. I just needed 400. I needed to make 400 to pass it. So I'm like, alright, let me add to this position. Let me just add to this trade because it looked pretty good to me. You know, respected the 4 minute, 4 hour, respected 4 hour inverse on the 5 minute, inverse on the 1 minute. I was alright, nice. Uh, and then it stopped me out. My stop loss was right at this wick. Um, I was considering putting it here, but either way, I would have gotten stopped out too. I guess I should have had put it here, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, right here. It would have been like a nice 1-to-1. But I just wasn't looking at that. I was just like, all right, if it disrespects the inverse, I'm out of it, and that's what I did. I was like, all right, it's all good. I'll wait for another setup, and I didn't take the setup right after that one. I actually took a trade on gold. So I went over to see what gold was doing, and I took a trade right here, and I'll explain why I took this trade. So coming into the higher time frame, there was this 4 hour. Where is it? Yeah. So there was this 4 hour gap. I didn't just randomly enter. I waited for a good setup, and let me show you what I did. Yo, is there a way to reset the chart to where I was looking at it? Because having to zoom back in and do all this is kind of annoying when changing time frames. Let me know in the comments. But alright, respected this 4 hour. Um, I seen there was a bearish fair value gap. Um, yeah, so there was this bearish fair value gap, right? And it respected it pretty nicely. And then it also created a bullish fair value gap. I was alright, there's an inverse on the 1 minute. Um, Usually whenever the inverse is inside of the bearish or rally gap, it's a pretty good sign that it is pretty bearish. They both align. My alright, I entered um 20 micros. It's a bit heavy, but for this volume range on gold, especially during Asia, it's not so bad just because it moves really slow. So as soon as I entered, um, my TP was right here actually. Let me show you. My entry was right here. My TP was at this 5 minute. So my target was this 5 minute fair value gap. As you can see, it got pretty close. I had to set my stop to break even. Which thankful I did because you guys could see completely would have hit my stop loss. But yeah, I guess I wanted to fully touch on the 4 hour. Uh, I just seen it respected it so much or rejected the 4 hours so much that as soon as it took out most of these highs, I was pretty bearish. But I guess I wanted to make one last move before it went to my TP, which is unfortunate, you know. But yeah, pretty unfortunate. But I'm not too bummed out, you know. Break even. I was like, all right. And I was at the gym whenever I took this trade. So in between my sets, I just kept looking over, seeing if my trade hit or not. And I was actually sitting there for a while, wasn't doing any of the workouts. I guess my mistake was entering while I was at the gym instead of actually just focusing on my workouts. I shouldn't be trading while at the gym. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, you know? But I gotta focus on one thing, and I definitely wasn't focused on one thing. I was focused on two things because I was in between my sets. I was trading, you know. I should have just stepped out, went to my truck, or just waited till I got home. Um, by the way, I followed my setup. Just trade didn't play out, you know. And then right as soon as I left the gym, actually no, this last trade I took three trades total, right? This last one, I actually took when I got home. It made this bullish 5 minute fair value gap. It tapped back into it. My bias was already bullish, right? So I was looking for longs, and this was a perfect setup right here. But I just wasn't looking at my phone, you know. I was just at the gym. I missed a move. I was like, all right, dang it. And then created another fair value gap. I was already in my truck. I was like about to go home, and I seen it went down and literally bounced right off of it. My bad. I need to wrap this video up. I've just been low key yapping. But look, it bounced right into it, and then immediately you see this 1 minute, boom, it never touched back down. So I'm like, dang. So I just waited and waited. There was this bearish fair value gap they created on the way down, and I was waiting for the inverse. This whole choppiness, I was just waiting for it to tap back in to enter longs again. So those were my confluences. Respected the 5 minute, respected another 5 minute down here. Inverse off the 1 minute. I'm like, cool, pretty good setup. And I actually bottom ticked this move down. So as soon as it moved down, I entered 5 micros, and then I mean, my bad, I entered 10 micros and I entered 5. And my break even point was right here. TP was at this 5 minute, unfilled 5 minute. 5 minute paired up with a 15 minute, with a 1 minute. It was just like a bunch of fair value gaps right here, but they were all paired up. As you can see, this 1 minute time frame. You can see it already. The 1 minute right here, pretty much inside of the 5 minutes. So this is a good TP, right? And I ended up getting stopped out. My stop loss was right at this wick. I stopped out, and at this point, I was already down like 500 bucks. I was like, all right, I literally locked myself out right as soon as it happened because I know, um, I didn't want to go on tilt. This is exactly what happened last time whenever I was about to pass my Evo. I took some loss, right? I took a loss when I was same scenario. I was like 300 bucks short off of passing it. took a loss, revenge traded, uh, and ended up blowing the account. So this time I knew I had to lock myself. My bad. So this time I knew I had to lock myself out. So as soon as I got stopped out, I accepted the loss and I walked away. You know, I didn't look at the charts after. But looking back, I guess I wanted to touch the 5 minute just because it literally bounced off of it way too quick. Some more re-entries here. Uh, and it basically hit my TP right after. So as you can see, bounced off the 5 minute and then went straight to my take profit right here. So looking back, all the trades I took would have played out or did play out. It just swept some lows before it did. So I guess my issue was I entered a bit too early. You know, I should have waited for the whole move to happen. Should have waited for more confluences. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shit happens, and I can't do anything about it, right? All I gotta do is just accept the losses and learn from these mistakes. All right. Now on New York, let's see what it did. New York was honestly crazy. Uh, I did not take any trades, but I will here soon in a little bit. Right after I finish editing this video, I'm gonna go to the gym and do workouts. Do workouts. It's pull day today, so focusing on my back and biceps. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next trade recap. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the love and support, and see you guys next time. Peace.